Hi, thank you for watching Digging to China. I'm Dong Shong. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Brutal and oppressive lockdowns continue in Shanghai. The zero-COVID policy has officials using increasingly extreme measures to stop the virus from spreading. Residents who complain are met with impersonal authoritarian measures. But in China's official media reports, all you see and read are uplifting stories. For many Chinese netizens, these uplifting stories are churning more on stomachs than the hunger. Last week, a WeChat article criticizing uplifting news about Shanghai's COVID situation has been making its rounds on Chinese social media. The author is a netizen named Da Song Ziyou. He or she wrote, "Sometimes I really doubt the intelligence of some institutionalized journalist. I really don't know whether to laugh or cry about it." The article's title, "Please guys, give us less retarded news." There are many news stories are compiled by netizens as Shanghai government blew its own horn while dumbing down news readers. One of the recent news stories mentioned in the article is published by state media outlet Xinhua News Agency. It is about a drone flying over the Huangpu River to deliver life-saving medication to a cancer patient. According to the state media report, on April 27th in Xuhui district, the local Communist Youth League received a help call from an elderly patient with advanced liver cancer. The patient urgently needed the emergency medicine from Shanghai's Pudong district. With the help of the fire and emergency department, the committee immediately arranged for 2 drones to go on a mission over the Huangpu River to pick up and deliver the medicine, a journey of about 20 kilometers. The mission was reportedly accomplished in 30 minutes, and the entire ordeal was filmed by the second drone for a Xinhua video. One popular blogger wrote, "Such positivity. But what about just putting these medication in a car for transportation? They won't go bad, and there are no traffic jams in Shanghai now. Transportation by car is a bit safer than flying them over the Huangpu River, don't you think?" Another Weibo user wrote, "Shanghai bridges aren't bombed, are they? The tunnels aren't blocked, are they? Couldn't the firemen just drive a car and deliver the medicine?" As a result, the idea that the 2 drones needed to fly out because of the bridges and the tunnels were bombed or blocked then became somewhat of a running joke on Weibo. This is all just to fit the propaganda messages. Did you think people are stupid or something? Others wrote, with many commenters repeating the sentence, "I don't know whether to laugh or cry about it. I'm laughing so hard over this, all this trouble with the drone delivering medication and then another drone following it to film it. They are making things so difficult." Following online criticism, a hashtag page related to the news was temporarily disabled, and later only 8 comments praising the video were displayed below the Xinhua thread, which actually received nearly 5,000 replies. Another example raised is a news story about an elderly sick man with an amputated leg living on the 4th floor of an apartment building. The building is not equipped with elevator, and he had to go downstairs for a mandatory COVID test. Unable to leave his apartment by himself, the old man was helped by 5 anti-epidemic workers who carried him all the way down in his wheelchair. According to the original news report, the old man was moved and thanked the workers for helping him getting downstairs. Wouldn't it have been easier to bring the test upstairs? Many people wondered. Wasn't the news editor a bit entertained about this news himself? Others also wondered how and if the man in the wheelchair ever got back to his 4th floor apartment again. So you think it's not a good idea for one person to go to the house to do the nucleic acid test, but you do think it looks good for 5 people to carry the old man down with a wheelchair and to take pictures of it? The WeChat article author wrote, and he was moved and actually thanked you? Are you sure he didn't call you idiots? The blogger also wrote, I understand the goal of these kinds of articles is to express positivity and to convey a feeling of urgency that every second counts. But could you please also take our IQ into considering when setting the atmosphere? The blogger continued, I once heard a story as a kid about an Arab who had won a camel at a competition. When he got home, he wanted to slaughter the camel, but discovered his knife was on the 3rd floor. So he asked 3 of his neighbors to help him get the camel up to the 3rd floor. I always thought this story was just fabricated, but now I have come to realize I was just too naive. Another news story mentioned was originally published by Liberation Daily, the official daily newspaper of the Shanghai Committee of the Chinese Communist Party. It is a personal narrative of a Shanghai official who is going back to work in the field for the first time in a decade. This is how the story begins. On the evening of April 12, close to 10 p.m., I received a call from my unit that I would be part of a team of 10 people as the first batch of cadets to get into the village. Actually, I felt afraid. I didn't know what the situation would be like in the place where we were heading. What challenges would we face? Also, I have 2 sons in junior high school. I always help them in their schoolwork. I worried their studies would be delayed. I told my sons to go up to the attic to get the biggest suitcase. They were stupefied, asking me, Mom, how long would you be gone for? Why do you need such a big suitcase? I told them, you can never be over-prepared. I don't know exactly how long. I could see the panic in their eyes. The next day, when my sons carried my luggage to my car, I turned around and hugged them both. I had never been so sad to part with them, and the tears started welling up in my eyes. I held myself back and told myself, you can't cry. You need to be a good role model for your sons. When facing a catastrophe, someone must stand up and bravely step forward. Besides, I'm not the one who is suffering the most. If others can do it, so can I. The WeChat blogger responds to the news article writing, I first thought the protagonist was leaving their family to go abroad or for some secret all-or-nothing mission, moving heaven and heart between life and death. But then I read on and oh my dear, it turns out to be an official who's going to work at a neighborhood committee. The other criticized the article for presenting the work of a local cadet at a neighborhood committee doing simple work such as scanning QR codes and collecting PCR tests as some life or death mission. Where does this kind of self-moving come from? Isn't it embarrassing? On Weibo, the banter continues. I remember someone saying that the person in charge of the Shanghai propaganda line came back from North Korea. This is not the first time that this kind of positive reporting in times of COVID is deemed out of place and exaggerated. In February 2020, Chinese media report praised the female nurses as true heroes for having their heads shaved before going to Wuhan to help the fight against COVID-19. The reports and the videos showed some woman crying while having their hair completely shaved, and the media segment caused anger among Weibo and WeChat users who thought it was all about propaganda. Many wondered why the woman needed to shave off all their hair while male nurses could keep their hair. Some experts chiming in claimed that having a bald head would not be helpful in the fight against the virus, as hair also has a protective function, reduces irritation from wear hats and masks, and prevents sweat from dropping into the eyes. More recently, a CCTV video report on the situation in Shanghai went viral on WeChat after people thought the part showing a supposed Shanghai supermarket was too fake, with many suggesting it was filmed inside a film studio instead of inside an actual Shanghai supermarket in times of lockdown and the grocery problems. Afterward, a video made by social media users added a Joker Xue song into the state media video, in which he sings about a relationship in which one person is faking it and the other just plays along and pretends not to notice for the sake of their relationship. Official media then reported that the supermarket scenes were authentic. The very fact that the state media outlets apparently felt the need to convince netizens that the state news program was legitimate instead of being staged, as some netizens suspected, says a lot about the current relationship between state media and the Chinese netizens and the tensions surrounding the situation in Shanghai. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. Just click the subscription button right here. I'll see you again shortly. Until then, be well.